We're here at the Bottinger Playground Community Build, and we're with Katie Morgan. She's the project manager for Kaboom. And Katie, I'd like you to talk about Kaboom in general terms, as far as it's a national nonprofit, and tell me a little bit about how y'all came down here.
Absolutely. We're a national nonprofit, and we envision a great place to play within walking distance of every child in North America. One way we do this is by leading these huge community build playgrounds, where we get tons of local volunteers. We get corporations. For this specific build, the W.K. Kellogg Foundation provided most of the funding, and NORD also is a partner for this project, as well as the Bottinger Booster Club. This build at Bottinger Playground is Kaboom's 1,798th community-led playground build. Our planning process is about 2 months. I came out 2 months ago representing Kaboom and met with the kids that play at this park and use this park, and they're the ones that designed this playground.
Great. So once you hit the ground 2 months ago, walk us through that process.
We have a big community meeting where the kids draw their dream playgrounds, and a bunch of parents from the Bottinger Booster Club met up, and we divided up into a bunch of different committees: food, recruitment, registration, construction, all kinds of committees. And then since then, we've been having a weekly planning call every single week where we call in, get updates, and make sure we're on track to have our successful build day, which we're having right now.
So the theory behind a community build, what is the hope after the playground is built? Then what does that process lead to?
The process, our goal is that our process gives the communities the tools that they need, so in the future they can lead their own service projects, they can keep the projects going, and that they have all of the tools and resources that they need. And we keep supporting them even after the project and other projects that they are doing.
So Kaboom also does like a whole, I would think a class on the maintenance component after the playground is built?
Yes, the maintenance is incredibly important. For this project, NORD provided a maintenance plan, and the community also came up with their own maintenance plan. They will be responsible, as well as NORD, for taking care of this playground that they designed and are building right now.
And I'm sure the kids will love taking care of it since they chose the playground equipment and the colors, so they already have a built-in ownership to the program.
Absolutely, and the community will have ownership over all of these projects. I overheard somebody say, my kid is going to play on this for the next 10 years, and he was so excited, and you know, that's the truth. And the kids are going to say, my mom built that, my dad built that, and for years to come, for the rest of the life of this playground, this community will be enjoying it, and they built it, so it's theirs.
Great. Can you give us a general terms in the Gulf? How many playgrounds y'all have built post-Katrina?
I don't know. A couple hundred at least. We did a big surge of builds right afterwards. We did 100 builds in 100 days.
Is it throughout the entire Gulf or just in New Orleans?
Throughout the entire Gulf. I know we build in New Orleans all the time. Driving through yesterday, we drove through or by probably 10 different playgrounds.
Yeah, that's been one of the most exciting things to see happen post-Katrina is the amount of playgrounds and the Kaboom influence in New Orleans, because we didn't have it as much before the storm, and it was such a wonderful way to have the community more involved in the playgrounds and in the builds. And obviously the best thing is that our children finally have a decent place to play.
Yeah, and we still have tons of funders coming to us, especially this year being the 5-year anniversary. So we have a lot of projects coming up this year. A lot of funders still only want to build here.
Excellent. So we can look forward to doing more of these, especially in District C.
Hopefully.
Well, thank you so much, Katie, and thanks for being down here. We really appreciate it.
You taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, a 9-iron, the net. Even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
Right now we're here with actual community organizers, the local organizers for the event for Bottinger Playground. I'm with Lauren King, who's the president of the Booster Club, and Kawana Rapol. And so I just want to thank you all for doing this and putting all this together. And I'd like you to talk about the process locally of what you've done to get us here. Lauren?
Yes, actually, it has been an awesome process. It's been about a 2-month-long labor of love. We solicited all of our Algiers vendors and asked for sponsorship. We had to raise about $7,500 as our contribution to the Kaboom build, and our vendors came in really strong. We still have money coming in. It has just been phenomenal. So the community has really come out and supported us. We had to recruit volunteers throughout the city, and we've had wonderful representation as well. We've had AmeriCorps to come out. We've had the U.S. Marine Corps. The Carpenters Union came out and did all of our
we love the
prep
Carpenters
day.
Union.
Yes,
Excellent.
they are awesome. Bow Brothers, I have to give them just big kudos because they gave us all of the tools that we would need to do this. So without them, that would have been a real issue. So it has just been wonderful. Our park services kids between the ages of 4 to 14 years old, and we've serviced, we've had over 1,000 kids to play on the playground since Katrina. So, you know, we are just awesome in terms of numbers. Right. We have football, we have basketball, and we have our newly established baseball team. Our football team is awesome. We're in baseball right now, and they are undefeated, so go Jaguars. So our kids are just moving and shaking, and we're so proud of them. It's not just about the sports that they're doing, but it's about the character building. It's about just them learning the life skills that they need to in order to survive. So
and having the ownership too of the park.
Exactly. And this is all about them. They actually designed the playground that we're putting up over here. So we're excited about what they've done, and they're out here helping with the build and just doing everything.
So Kawana, tell me, were you also involved in a lot of the fundraising efforts that y'all had to do throughout the community?
Oh yes, we were very much involved with that, soliciting donations from vendors, as she said, businesses, local citizens. We also had a raffle, which we raised a substantial amount of money, and we hope to do this every year after in order to raise funds for the park, in order to maintain the park, as well as improve.
And so that's part of your maintenance plan for long term?
Yes. Just capital improvements with the park, establishing our concession stand so that we can continue to raise money. We can hold tournaments here, just so that we can, again, just beautify the park and continue to grow.
Now, you know, I always find it intriguing when the citizens really get so involved and go out there and fundraise. Had y'all ever done anything like this before?
No.
And so, what did you think from a personal point of view about doing this?
I was so tired of begging. I mean, but it was great because of the way that it was received. Most times when you're asking for things for kids, people are just really willing. And so we really got a great reception from the community. And I have to also say Piccadilly, awesome. Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm sure the kids didn't mind that.
Not at all. Not at all. They were there. So, and we're looking for continued sponsorship. I mean, we're growing our park. There's a lot of things still that need to be done, and so we're looking for sponsors to keep this park going.
Great. So this is just the beginning. And so thank you both so much. This park wouldn't be here if it wasn't for both of you and the citizen engagement. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Go to jail for a gun crime, and your family serves a sentence with you.
Plastic ones last longer.
Pork bellies close steady due to speculation that demand for bacon-related products.
Read me this one, Daddy.
Okay, honey.
The less art kids get, the more it shows. Are yours getting enough? Art. Ask for more. AmericansForTheArts.org.
Hi, I'm here with Roy Glapion. And he has also been one of the leaders in the community that have led the charge for the restructuring of Nord. One of the big issues that we're talking about while we're here is the long-term maintenance of the playground so that for generations of our children that they can be able to play here safely. And with that being said, we all know that Nord has had many challenges over the years. And so Roy has been very involved in the process of having a discussion about whether or not there should be a public-private partnership to really ensure that Nord can move on. So Roy, would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We have a item coming up for vote on October 2nd, and it's probably one of the most important things that we've taken on as a community in a long time. What we're looking at is a charter change to revitalize our recreational department.
Is it like a governance process that's going to change?
Yes. As a matter of fact, what's going to happen, we're going to actually take Nord from the city, so to speak, and move it into a public-private partnership called the New Orleans Recreation Development Commission. And you'll have a commission made up of 13 individuals. They'll have a private funding arm, and they'll have a new director.
And who sets the commissioners? Who would appoint the commissioners?
Actually, you're going to be involved in that as a council person and the mayor, so you'll have some say-so.
Excellent. So there will be accountability to the public. This commission will be.
Absolutely.
And then will all the meetings be open to the public so that the public has input?
Completely. Not only that, from a commission standpoint, the commissioners will be made up of individuals from the community who understand recreation and what we need for our recreational department.
Excellent. So the commissioners then will also have certain professional qualifications
Absolutely.
to ensure that our parks are well maintained?
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, in this charter change that's coming up on October 2nd, we won't be voting on the commissioners. We'll be voting on the governance structure change. Okay, so it's important for people to realize that we're not picking commissioners.
Let's talk a little bit about what you said that there is a financing arm.
Yes.
So there would be a nonprofit that would be created to go out and actually fundraise for additional monies to supplement an existing budget?
That's correct. I believe right now the mayor has committed $10 million in dedicated funding to our recreational department.
Excellent.
In addition to that, we'll have a private funding arm that can be made up of business people or anyone that wants to contribute to Nord. But the funding, if you write a check, if I write a check to this funding arm, you know that money's going to our recreational department. What we have from a recreational standpoint, it's not working. It's not working. If we create a new governance structure, we know that the funding will be dedicated to our recreational department. It can't go anywhere else. It won't be used for anything else.
So this is a way of regaining confidence within the business community to give back to our parks.
Not only in the business community, but in the community as a whole. When we recreate one playground, kind of what you guys are doing right now with Kaboom, it brings a whole nother flavor to the community. So if we can do this with Kaboom, and now we have funding not only through the recreational department, but the business community. Okay, we're talking in the past $10 to $12 million. Currently, we're looking at $5 to $4.9 million.
Right.
But if we have dedicated $10 million, which is what the mayor is saying, and then we have another $5 million or maybe $10 million coming from the business community and private individuals, we're at $15 million. Okay, now in the community, you start to see results. You start to see playgrounds being redeveloped. More and more people we feel are going to jump on board. So we could wind up with the $40 million that Baton Rouge has right now for their recreational department.
Which is our goal. And I guess one other question that I know I've heard from some constituents is the fear of this two-tier system. Currently in New Orleans, because Nord has been a failure, we have often parks where the community has to take care of themselves. But then some communities don't have the resources of a Lakeview or a Carrollton. And so these communities are often underserved. How would is this meant to even the playing field across the board? How would you respond to that?
That's exactly right. We're looking at a across-the-board leveling of the playing field with all resources. And of course, Carrollton, Lakeview, and some of the other playgrounds have funding arms, private funding arms, family members, whatever the case may be, and they have the resources. But now what we're talking about is the kids in Treme, the 9th Ward, across the city having the same resources, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. Part of what we're doing with this charter change, we're taking 300 acres away from parks and parkways. Now, park and parkways they're still gonna operate under park and parkways.
Correct.
But 300 acres that Park and Parkways currently manages are actually Nord playgrounds. So NORD is going to manage their own playground. So when the parents go to the playgrounds and they wonder, okay, why is this grass so high? Why? Well, you know, NORD is going to take care of their own playgrounds.
Which makes sense, because then they can put it in the rotation for the different services that each playground does. So they know it has to be cut if there's a baseball game or a football game.
We've got a game tomorrow.
Right,
we need to cut the
grass. Right, which is the
exactly.
benefit of having it under NORD.
Exactly.
So what we're talking about here is trying to even the playing field for all of our children.
Entire citizens. And not only kids. See, the vision is bigger than that. The vision is to intertwine the community. Okay? So we always associate NORD with kids, and of course that's correct.
Right.
But we can talk about the elderly. We can talk about literacy programs. We can talk about teaching folks who are not comfortable with technology and teaching them how to use technology and become comfortable with technology and not be embarrassed, because they'll be in a setting with other individuals who are not comfortable with technology.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So it's a whole community outreach type thing, and I think that's the direction that we're going to go in as time moves forward with this.
That's excellent, because I'm sure a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the community centers, like the Treme Community Center, these other community centers, are actually part of the NORD structure.
Right, that's right. We really want to stretch this thing out. We've got the Recovery School District building all of these schools, okay? We can actually look at combining our resources and not duplicating resources. So if we have a school, obviously we're building a school in a neighborhood because they're kids and we need a school.
Right.
Okay, well, we probably need a playground.
Correct.
Okay, you tie the playground to the school. The school has an auditorium. We may need an auditorium because we have a dance class.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to use the auditorium next to the school.
Right.
I mean, we can make this thing work.
Which makes so much sense. Like Landry School. We have Landry School, and right next door we have Fox Playground.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been renovated. And so to have that discussion between the school and the community would be wonderful.
The conversation is going to be very, very important as we move forward with this, so that the Recovery School District, or the school district as a whole, communicates with NORD, and the director of NORD, who has the ability to hire and fire, the director of NORD works with the school district and says, look, okay, here's my schedule. I need the auditorium, or I need the basketball court, or I need this, I need that. Sure, okay, well, we're going to make sure that that's available. And that can save us money in the long run.
Absolutely. So it's all about leveraging.
Hey there. Hi. I haven't seen you before.
Yeah, I just moved here. I'm new. Wanna hang out or something? 'Cause I have a feeling we're gonna be best friends.
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
This is a man who almost learned to walk at a rehab center that almost got built by people who almost gave money. Almost gave. How good is almost giving? About as good as almost walking.
Hi, I'm here with Kathleen Whalen, and she is with the Cops for Kids program at the St. Bernard Community Center, NORD Community Center. And it's a program for the summer camp. And I'd like for you to speak a little bit about what y'all do here.
Okay, we're a full-service summer camp. We try to be all-inclusive. We have athletic programs, we have arts, we have dance, we have drama, we have chorus, we have visual arts, ceramics, we have band, we have swimming lessons and free swimming, and basketball. We had a tennis program. We have a little bit of a soccer program. We do some journal writing, some literacy work, some books. So we try to put a little bit of everything in for the kids.
And how long have you all been doing this at this center?
Well, at this center since Katrina, Cops for Kids has actually been a program for the last 14 years. It's been in a number of different places. I actually work for After School Partnership, and this is the first year that we've been involved with the direct running of the camp.
And talk to me about the need here for the kids. How many children are currently enrolled in the camp?
I have about 171 kids enrolled. I probably turned away 170 kids, tried to find them other spots, referred them to other NORD centers as they opened, because the need is so great.
And let me ask you, is there a fee involved with these summer programs?
There's a free summer program. It's a $20 registration fee, which we actually use for T-shirts. But it's it's a free program. Parents don't have to pay anything. Field trips are free. NORD, one of the other programs we have is a NORD Wilderness program. They're going on an overnight camping trip, and it costs $10.
So this really is truly a need out there in the community, because we don't have a lot of programs out there for summer camp for our children that don't have a cost associated with them, which I think speaks why you filled up so quickly.
It's a huge need, and I think also there's a reputation at the St. Bernard Center, and I think the Cops for Kid has a reputation, so a lot of people really want to put their children in quality programming, and quality program is really hard to find for free or not for free.
So with 171 kids, do you have the physical space that you need here for all the children?
I struggle with space. I would really like to have, I divide my groups up by age, and I would really like to have each age group to have their own specific space where they could feel comfortable, where they could feel a sense of ownership. I do not have that. So our group time is all in little spots in the gym. So I just have to improvise and make things work the best I can.
When we talk about summer camp, we talk about all the recreational activities, but there's also a serious component, isn't there, to what you offer the children over summer camp here at the center?
Yeah, we do offer, we try to address, because it's Cops for Kids, sort of the spin on it is about safety, and it's about feeling safe, it's about feeling confident in yourself, getting along with one another. Most of our programs have some component of conflict resolution, but we also have a partnership with LSU School of Psychiatry and Tulane School of Social Work, so that we do have people on staff both to do resiliency building curriculums and also to address individual needs, both family and children needs.
So you're also instilling life skills as well into the whole curriculum.
Absolutely.
Which is wonderful.
Absolutely. We also have curriculum that the U.S. Marshals are doing a curriculum here. The DEA is doing a curriculum here. Crime Stoppers is running a curriculum. And the New Orleans Police Department crime prevention officers are here. So we do have lots of different life skills curriculums as well.
If you could see an ideal in New Orleans for summer programs, what would it be?
It would be a space. It would be so that every child had a space to go where they could explore what works for them, where they could explore arts if they're interested in arts, explore sports if they're interested in sports, so that every child had a place to go. They didn't have to just be stuck, so that they were busy doing things.
And so we didn't have a waiting list.
So we didn't have a waiting list, absolutely.
Plastic ones last longer.
Pork bellies close steady due to speculation that demand for bacon-related products.
Read me this one, Daddy.
Okay, honey.
The less art kids get, the more it shows. Are yours getting enough? Art. Ask for more. AmericansForTheArts.org.
Jonesy kitty, Jonesy kitty, Jonesy cat. She is my kitty. She is my squiddy. She is my Jonesy. She is my Jonesy cat. She is my cat.
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
I'm here with Gina Warner, and she's the Executive Director of the After School Partnership. Hi, Gina. How are you?
Hi, thank you, Councilmember Palmer.
Oh, thanks for being here. We're having this whole episode is talking about NORD and talking about what the opportunities are for our children in recreation and our partnerships. And then we're also talking about the future of NORD and what that looks like. Could you speak a little bit about what your experience has been with that whole process and the public-private partnership?
Absolutely. You know, about 3 years ago, our organization commissioned, at the request of the City Council, a best practice study on municipal recreation departments to see what was happening in other cities, how were other cities doing this better. There was a sense that we could do it more efficiently in New Orleans, we could do it more effectively, and certainly, you know, we were going to have to learn to work with the limited resources that we had post-Katrina. And that report actually led to what became the Community Advisory Panel, which made the recommendation to the Council, which will now be on the October ballot, about reforming NORD. And the report itself looked at two issues. The governance of NORD, how is NORD managed, what is the leadership, and the financing. And basically, the challenge in New Orleans is we have about 35,000 public school-age children, and right now we're serving less than 25% of those kids.
That's shocking.
It is, and NORD is serving, about 5% of that 25%. So compared to about 30% pre-storm. So we can't talk about closing the gap and serving our children until we have NORD as a really viable and strong partner. And that's really what we needed to do.
Okay, well, so let's talk about that. But let's talk about the governance aspect of it, because that's really what's on the ballot October 2nd, is the governance of NORD. So what will that look like? And what is the goal? How is that going to achieve the goal for better facilities for our children?
I think one of the highlights of the report, one thing that really spoke to me was that there's actually a national organization that looks at recreation departments, National Association of Parks and Recreation. And they every year rank the top 20 organizations and departments around the country. And the governance structure that those 20 parks and recreation departments have, we don't have that same model. We have a model that's still directly under a mayor, solely funded by City Hall, solely tied to City Hall. Those really progressive and advanced departments actually are more of the private-public model that we're looking to adopt in New Orleans, which means that you still have a role for public support and public governance, but you also bring in the elements of, that we look at the business community, where you have strong leadership, accountability, performance measures, and that's truly really what we need. We need some stable leadership. Within NORD, we've had, I think, 14 directors in 30 years. We've had 4 directors in just the last 2 years. So, we need consistent, stable leadership. We need someone who's a nationally recognized expert in recreation leading the department. And when we get all that in place, then we'll be able to attract the resources that we need to provide the services that we know our children deserve.
So we also, though, need to strategically plan.
Absolutely.
And so I see this whole public-private partnership as having the ability of a finite budget, a budget that cannot be taken away from the city, from the government, from the city council even. And that stream then allows the entire recreation department to really plan for the future and plan for the needs that are actually occurring within our community. Is that how you see it as well?
What we need to talk about is, first start from the vision. What do we think a quality recreation experience looks like for our children? We haven't had that discussion. What do we think it looks like, and then what does that cost? And there are a number of organizations out there can help us put that cost together and help understand it. But, as a quality recreation experience, it's sports, but it's also art. As we've heard today, it's access to mental health services. A city recreation department can serve so many needs for its citizens. So what does that look like? What do we want NORD to do? What does that cost per child? How many children do we want to serve? It's kind of like, simple math. It's not that hard, but getting to that point. And then what sort of professional development are we providing for the employees? One reason that we're excited you're here today at the Cops for Kids program is because we think this is the ideal model for NORD going forward, where NORD manages facilities, manages sites, but strong community organizations come in and actually run the services. We have a wealth of wonderful community organizations, cultural institutions who are dying to get into NORD and provide more services. And they just haven't had that opportunity. And I think that this public-private partnership will allow more of that.
And that's why I think it's so intriguing, is people don't often think about why you're involved as the after-school partnership, because you really see it's not just about summer camps. It's about continuing this relationship through the school year as well. Yep. And do you see schools also partnering then with the different NORD facilities in the area?
I think that would be ideal. I think we have to talk about that because our facilities are so limited. And I think if we want to be smart about how we build back, we know NORD has huge capital needs. But, there's no need in investing a huge amount of public dollars into a facility that's going to sit adjacent to a very nice school facility. We should talk about how we're using those facilities together. But you're right, it is about what we're doing year-round. It's about what we're doing for every age of child. I have a young child myself. I know you have young children. And someone suggested to me, during the course of this discussion, how wonderful if we could have like a gym rompers class at every NORD site instead of parents of any income level having to go to another private site. That's something we should be providing. Early childhood instruction for parents and children, all the way up to what we do for older youth and what we do at NORD centers for senior citizens.
And I think it also speaks to even the limited land that we have, say, in the urban centers. Say, within District C, we have Craig School, and it's directly across the street from a NORD facility, from the Treme Community Center. And wouldn't it be great that, they're kind of landlocked, but to be right across the street and have a community center, you could have a whole nother arm that could service the children. Is that what y'all can envision?
Yeah, exactly. And then maybe while the children, this is like, thinking really big, but maybe while the children were doing some sort of recreation opportunity, the school could open itself at night for computer training for parents. They're just right there. The parents would know their kids were safe. They're right across the street. They're doing things together, and they're in their community. And I think that's what we really want. And when we think about what Nord could be, I think people really think about the ownership of it as a neighborhood and as a community, and determining, how we can find the way to best serve the residents who are in that, in that area, no matter what their age, what their income level. And I think that's really when we talk about strategic planning, that's the point we need to get to. We're not there, but I think we're going to put in place through this governance structure, a way to let us get there, to start having those discussions and getting input from the community, and most importantly, putting the resources there that we need to do it.
Great. Well, I ended the last conversation with what is your ideal? So, as a parent and a mother, but also as an educator, what is your ideal that you see for Nord?
I think, my ideal, I think I would want every center to be somewhere I would send my child. And I think when we talk about what our vision is for Nord and the quality of service it's providing, I think we should say, we want, because we all want the best for our children, regardless of what our income level is.
Correct.
So everything I would want for my child is what I want at every Nord center. And so I think that's what we should all be thinking about and talking about when we make these decisions.
Great. Well, thank you so much for all your good work and your time. I appreciate it.